Hey guys, Ed from Paranormal Link, Ohio here, back at it again with another podcast episode. Guys, tonight's episode is about some real life, true witch stories throughout time. So we're going to touch base on the Salem witch trials. Yes, I know I've done an episode on that, but this is just so huge, important in the history of witchcraft and how people were just so crazy and were just killing innocent people. It had to be put in here. So I'm going to start it out. Like I said, guys, I do my research online and in books. I write them down on my notes, and then I read you from my notes. And I hope you guys enjoy. So here we go. Perhaps the most famous cases of so-called witchcraft in history and an inspiration for the witch, the Salem witch trials, began in 1692 in Massachusetts, now viewed as a notorious incident of mass hysteria caused by an era of religious extremism and fear, plus incidences of Native American retribution and an epidemic of smallpox. When two girls began suffering fits and uncontrollable screaming, it was deemed the work of witches. 20 were implicated and executed, nearly all by hanging, 14 of whom were women. The trials were later deemed unlawful, but lasting damage had already been done, leaving an indelible stain on American history. Next up, we have the Pendle Witches. The trials of the Pendle Witches preceded Salem by almost a century, occurring in 1612 and around Pendle Hill in Lancashire, a place thought wild and lawless at the time. 12 were accused of murders of 10 people in the local area by the use of witchcraft. Among them, 6 from the same family, the Demdikes, and others from the Chaddocks family. It's thought the families were in competition, making their livings from healing, begging, and extortion. 10 were executed, and despite a petition delivered to the then Home Secretary Jack Straw in 1998 appealing for their pardon, the convictions still stand. Now we're going to talk about the Agnes Sampson. Agnes Sampson was the most feted of those accused in the North Berwick witch trials in East Lothian in 1590. Which saw more than 100 accused and 70 executed. A respected healer and a midwife, she was among a supposed coven which sought to sink the ship of King James VI, new Danish bride, in a supernatural storm, and then the king's own ship after he set sail to retrieve her. The king questioned Agnes personally, subjecting her to horrific torture, including the use of an iron muzzle called the witch's bridle, extracting a confession. She was garroted and burned at the stake. Her ghost is said to roam the halls of Holyrood Palace, in Edinburgh. Now let's talk about Bridget Cleary. Bridget Cleary was murdered by her husband Michael Cleary in 1895. This is so messed up, guys. He claimed that he did so because he believed his wife had been consumed or possessed by a fairy changeling. Clearly, often referred to in folklore as the last witch burned in Ireland. After a violent argument conducted in front of relatives and neighbors, Michael clearly set her on fire with lamp oil, possibly while she was still alive, insisting to those in attendance that the changeling would die and his wife would be returned. This guy just wanted rid of his wife. Yeah, they got in a huge argument in front of family and friends, and he got mad and he just set her on fire. This is just clear-cut murder. He was found guilty of manslaughter and spent 15 years in prison. 15 years for setting somebody on fire. While 9 others were indicted on charges of wounding. The story lives on in Irish culture, a popular but macabre nursery rhyme reading, "Are you a witch, or are you a fairy, or are you the wife of Michael Cleary?" Now let's talk about Anna Goldie. Anna Goldie is often cited as the last person to be executed for witchcraft in Europe. Working as a maid for a wealthy physician in Glarus, Switzerland, it was claimed that she had put needles in bread and milk served to her employer's daughter using witchcraft. She was arrested and tortured, after which she admitted a pact with the devil himself. Though she retracted her confession once the torture was over, of course, they're going to torture you until you say what they want to hear, she was sentenced to death by beheading in 1782. The incident was widely decreed across the country and also by the Holy Roman Empire in 2007. Her death was officially acknowledged as a miscarriage of justice. Her exoneration was granted 226 years after her death. It only took them that long to have some sense. Her trial branded illegal, it later emerged that Gaudi had threatened to reveal an affair she was having with her employer. And this guy just straight up killed her. He wanted to quiet her, shut her up. So he killed her. Guys, that is it for tonight's episode. I hope you enjoyed these stories of witchcraft, these true real-life stories of witchcraft. I was going across this stuff, man, and it was just mind-boggling, some of these things I came up with from the web and from different books and different literature and stuff, man. And you guys just had to hear them. So I hope you enjoyed tonight's episode. I thank you guys oh so very much for coming and checking it out. I thank you guys so much for the love and support that you give Paranormal Link Ohio, myself and my family. And without this, without you guys, I couldn't do this. So, and this is why I do it. Thank you guys again so much, and I hope you guys have a great night, and you will hear from me tomorrow. Thanks. Bye, everyone.